Welcome back to This Busy Life, the podcast. On today's episode, we are chatting to Tassie's finest, Tubes Taylor, who is the Triple M breakfast host here in Hobart, and Tassie's most popular sporting MC. It was a very fun and interesting episode because all the questions that we had written down for him, we didn't actually get to ask. And it was just a beautiful, organic interview. We went deep diving into saying yes to opportunities, how important support networks are for us to be able to fulfill those obligations and fulfill those opportunities. And we also spoke more about how to avoid burnout and the importance of avoiding burnout. This episode is sponsored by Derwent Finance and edited by Nugget Creative. Welcome, Tubesy, to our podcast. How are you, mate?
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So for our listeners, we would love for you to be able to give a little introduction about yourself and who you are.
Right. My name's Tubes Taylor. Mm-hmm. I'm a country boy with a heart of gold. I'm from the Northwest Coast originally, Burnie, actually. And I moved to Hobart in 2000 to go and study uni. Yep. I did a science degree, which you probably don't even know.
Science degree?
Yeah.
That's huge. Chemistry
and maths were my majors, and fell out of love with that pretty quickly and moved on, and then met my partner Erin during a uni review, which is a theatre show here in Tassie. And yeah, now I'm a breakfast radio host on Triple M Breakfast with Kaz and Tubes, which I've done for the last 4 years. Previous to that, I was a sauce salesman. I had a sauce company called Jono's Homemade, so a little Tassie sauce company, and sports commentator, MC, dad, partner, and passionate Tasmanian.
Great. We love it.
That's probably the best introduction we've had from someone. Normally we ask and
it's so dry.
I say a lot
Tubes
of
knows.
Yeah, I say a lot of stuff. And so when I get a mic in front of me, I don't struggle for words, but sometimes I do. So because I don't really know what we're doing here, but I'm looking forward to having the chat.
Yeah, find out. Great. We probably don't need an icebreaker for you, but we will do it anyway. We ask every guest when they come on, what has been their busy win and lesson for the week?
My busy win was probably getting an opportunity to MC the Tasmania Devils VFL comeback, I guess it's called. Their first game as the Tasmania Football Club, and I was lucky enough that the team at the Tasmania Devils Football Club trusted me to be the man behind the mic as far as crowd participation and things like that go. So it was a pretty big day, and I'm a massive Aussie rules fan, and I love my community football and have been commentating that for over a decade now. But to get a go in front of a crowd of nearly 11,000 people at North Hobart Oval was pretty special. As far as lessons go, I don't know, probably just understanding that there are things that I can control and things that I can't, and trying to let the stuff that I can't control go sometimes is pretty difficult for me. So there were some issues with audio at the Oval, but the reality is I don't think it affected the occasion. I think the occasion was fantastic.
That was brilliant.
Whereas I was just like, can they hear me? You know, I was like a bit selfish, you know. And the reality is that everyone at that Oval was pretty happy, regardless of the teething problems that they had with, you know, my audio or being able to get a drink or something to eat. I think everyone that was there still had a good time, and it was great that we got a win. So yeah.
Great footy.
I love their Facebook post. I was watching it. I'm a netball girl, so I was at netball while this was all going on, and I was laughing at the Instagram post. The social media team are doing such a good job when they said, "Oh, we're about to win," and they don't know the song yet.
No, that's so good.
It was so funny.
This is the thing they said to me. They said, "The words will be up on the screen. Tubes, can you sing along?" I'm like, I haven't heard it. So at the start, I'm like, I knew it was to The Road to Gundagai.
Yeah.
And I sort of know that song because it's a Aussie, you know, classic. And I was just reading and singing the lines like, I was just doing that. And then I was lucky that the microphone didn't work, so people couldn't probably hear me. No, they could hear me, but it wasn't, you know, as good as what it was. But yeah, it was pretty funny that they didn't know the lines.
No, I thought it was funny. You have to do some practice next week.
Yeah, that's right.
For when they win again.
Yeah, hopefully we have a kind of like a Jack Jumpers thing where the first season's a massive success.
Yeah. It'd be great if that happened.
You mentioned at the start you have a multifaceted life. You have lots going on. For those that don't know you and only really see the highlight reel or seeing you get up stage with a really high, vibrant personality, what does a standard typical week look like for you?
So my bread and butter, I suppose, is my Triple M breakfast show with Kaz. We do that every morning, Monday through Friday from 6 till 9. We're on air, but that's not it.
Yeah.
I start at work at 5 in the morning. We go through on air, so from 6 till 9. That first hour's spent just looking at the stories of the day, trying to catch up on what's happened overnight. Then we're on air for 3 hours where we try to talk local issues and try to talk to our local audience, and we're building that over time. 9 o'clock comes, we're off air. We've got to do a few pre-recorded interviews, like for instance, if we get an international guest or big Australian guest that's coming down, like we've spoken to Jimmy Barnes, Bernard Fanning, Paul Dempsey, David Williams, just to name a few. Prime Minister comes on the show pretty regularly. If we have to do those outside of that 6 to 9 time frame, they usually happen between 9 and 10:30. We've got a few meetings afterwards to go through air checks and things like that. And then the day sort of winds up 11:30, 12 o'clock. So we're pretty go from 5 till midday. 11:30 midday.
Yeah.
Then I'll either go home and have a little power nap and pick the kids up from school after that. But the nap generally doesn't happen. Lately I've set a goal this year of trying to walk 5 kilometres every day. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly 5 every day. Some days I can have a skip a few days and I'll have to walk 15. On the last day of January, I had to work 24 kilometres to catch up. But I did it, and I was really proud of myself. So I've done that in January, February, and March has been a bit of a tough one because I got a bit sick.
Yeah.
So I'll have a walk, run. I'm starting to run again for the first time in a long time. And then, like I said, go and pick up my kids from school. So I've got 2 kids, Molly and Ray, who are 8 and 6. Molly's 8, Ray's 6. And we'll have after-school activities. So swimming on a Monday, Tuesday's cricket, Wednesday we've got off. Tuesday we've also got gymnastics. Thursday we've got Auskick, and then Friday we have Auskick as well. So they're doing double Auskick this year because of the hype around the Devils, I reckon.
Yeah.
But that's my general Monday to Friday. And then weekends, particularly over winter, I'll have footy commentary on a Saturday. So I'll go and commentate the Southern Football League, Community League, so that's with Cygnet Huonville, Dodgers Ferry, Hobart, Claremont, New Norfolk, Lindisfarne, and I'm upsetting someone here because I've forgotten them. Did I say Surreal? Dodgers Ferry? I think I did.
Is it the one in
Hobart.
Brighton?
They're in the Premier League.
Oh.
Come on, Tubes. Who am I missing?
Don't know.
Anyway,
You just
Claremont.
got Claremont, so
you got
we don't
Claremont.
mind.
That's all you're worried about.
My grandfather was a president of the SFL for a long time.
Was he?
And he'll be disappointed that I don't know them.
No, so that is a community league, which is really important to me. So I commit to that every winter. So that generally means I've got to get to the ground at about 11:30, commentate the women's game, which generally happens at midday, men's game at 2, and then go home. Maybe have an event that I have to MC that night, or Friday night I'll have done an MC gig. So, for instance, last week, Monday night, I MC'd the Southern Football League season launch.
Yeah.
Friday, I had the Australian Police Golf Championship. Saturday, I had the Devils. And Sunday's generally a day that I'll have just off with the kids.
Yourself.
Yeah. But I'm generally pretty buggered by then, so I don't do a heap. But yeah, like a week for me is trying to, I don't know, not pack it in, but do the things that I really like to do.
Yeah.
So the footy one is for me the thing that I think got me into my role at Triple M, because I was doing it on a weekend, commentating local sport, and then just getting out there into the community. And because I was talking on the microphone for 5 hours straight,
They knew that
I
you
got
could
better
talk.
at it. Yeah. And then Cricket Tasmania, I've been involved with them for, I think this is my 9th year or 8th year this year of being the Hobart Hurricanes ground announcer and now on-ground MC. But along with that, I was doing Sheffield Shield cricket commentary, One Day Cup cricket commentary, Women's National Cricket League commentary. So I started to get better at that because that was talking from 10:30 in the morning when the game started until 6:30 at night when the game finished. So doing long patches of talking 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
So I think with that experience and those opportunities to do that, you start to get better at talking and without saying or in between, thinking about what you say, being concise and compelling with what you're saying, adding to the vision on screen. I think that got me the job. And then I did a podcast with Maisie Gibson called Better Than Average Cricket. And we talked to athletes at Cricket Tasmania and administrators and volunteers at Cricket Tasmania about their experience, not just about their cricket, but who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And I really like doing that because I feel like when you get personal connection with people, you start to have more what they do appeals more to you as well.
Yeah.
So connecting with them on a personal level where they're vulnerable and you're like, oh, they're not just this incredible spin bowler like Maisie is.
Yeah.
I know that Maisie's been through 3 knee reconstructions, full knee reconstructions and come back from that.
Huge.
And yeah, like talking to people is like it's quite joyful. So I get to do that every day. That is a long and convoluted
We love it.
answer to your question.
It's exactly what we want on a podcast.
Yeah.
I find listening back to our podcast, I did used to say and a lot.
Yeah.
But now my filler word is a few words. And I didn't realise until listening back to a podcast last week, and I have the biggest ick for myself because I constantly say at the end of a question, you know,
That,
blah, blah, blah.
I
Yeah,
think
you
that
know.
is totally
Yeah, you know.
natural.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I said that 15 times in an hour. I didn't even know I said that.
I don't even know you say it.
I talk to people about that specifically. So and ahs are natural. They happen.
Yeah.
And even though I don't say that very often, I still do it.
Mm.
When you say at the end of a sentence or you're looking for affirmation.
Yeah.
You're looking for someone to go, yeah, you're right. You don't need that if you're confident about what you're talking about. And it's really interesting that you've picked that up about yourself because people do it all the time. They say isn't that right at the end of a sentence? They almost lead the person they're interviewing into answering in affirmation for what you're trying to get them to say rather than letting them say what they want to say. It's like you're
really
trying to find affirmation about what you're saying.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's what I was doing because the podcast I was on was quite a vulnerable podcast, which is usually not my forte. So I think because I was like being really vulnerable.
There was another side to
I
you.
wanted to be like, do you get what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
It's really scary being vulnerable.
And I didn't like, I just said like then, but I feel like I don't usually say, because it's not really something that's in my vocabulary normally. And so listening back, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
you're
a
looking
different
for a
part.
comfortable place.
Yeah.
Like you're looking for someone to comfort you in your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because it is hard to be vulnerable.
It's like finding that connection, like someone
You
solidifying.
said,
It's funny. It's funny.
You tend to say yes to a lot of things, and this is something I am asking myself because I'm a yes person, which tends to sometimes get me in trouble because I don't want to say no to opportunities because I want to take everything that comes my way. With that, how do you say no when opportunities come around so you don't burn yourself out?
That's a very poignant question for me because my partner Erin and I talk about this pretty regularly about tubes you need. Well, she talks at me about it rather than to me. But she says, tubes, you need to start saying no to some of these things. And it's really hard when I've been that person that's always
Being the yes man.
Yeah, and been reliable
to
be the person that, the Sorrel Footy Club rings up and says, Tubes, can you come and do this? Like, yeah, I can do that for you. Because I know no one else will do it.
We'll do it.
Maybe. Or someone else will do it and then I'll get a bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing. Just said, now I'm going to be really conscious about every time.
You're being vulnerable right now.
Yeah, but I think opportunities come to everyone, right? Regardless of what industry you're in, what your passions are, opportunities come. Erin and I were in Italy. This is a humble brag. Erin and I were backpacking around Italy, and we were in Monte Rosso, in a really nice restaurant because it was our last few days in Italy. And we said we were backpacking. We'd been eating peanut butter and raspberry jam sandwiches for like months. We said, let's just go out and have seafood in Italy. Like, we'll go and sit at a nice table. We sat down, and no joke, over the back behind us was an Australian. Like, this is crazy. We're in this tiny little restaurant. I'm like, I can't. And Aaron's like, you're going to talk to him, aren't you? And I'm like, well, he's an Aussie, you know. Like,
He's our friend.
I want to know where he's from. Anyway, we had a few more wines, and then all of a sudden I'm talking to this guy behind me, and I'm like, hey, where in Australia from? And he's like, Melbourne. What about you guys? And we're like, we're from Tassie. Oh, bloody love Tassie. I'm like, yeah, so do we. What are you doing here? And he goes, oh, I've got a yacht out in the bay, and we've just come in. I'm like, oh, okay. How long are you here for? He says, we just sail the Med for 3 months, and then I go back over summer and work, and then come back. I'm like, what do you do? He was in construction. And all I could do, because I was at the time 26, 27, all I could do was think to myself, man, this guy, he's so lucky. He's got, 3 months through the Med. How good is that? I just said to him, you sound like a pretty successful guy. Like, what's the secret? And he said, opportunity will come. It'll always come to you. You have to make the choice as to which opportunities you take, and sometimes which opportunities you leave. And you'll regret some either way. So I've taken that advice from a random dude, I couldn't even tell you his name, from a random guy in Monterosso, and gone, that's really good advice, that opportunities come and you can choose which one you take. And you can also, another thing that I think about comes from Rest Point, you have the choice to choose your attitude. You can choose your attitude. So I got these two things. Choose your attitude from when I worked at Rest Point for a number of years, and choose the opportunities, because they'll come. And my attitude towards all of my opportunities that I get is always, yep, let's do it. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But most of the opportunities that I've had, I've worked really hard to make the most of them. And a lot of people probably don't see that from me. They just go, this Tubes guy's full of energy and, what a wanker. Like sometimes like you've seen me at the Cricket Ash.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, I don't even know where it comes from. And like, that's how I live my life. I just say what I see and do what I do. And but it's also about keeping the things that make me who I am, the pillars of my character.
Yeah.
Respect, kindness, gratitude, humility, and there's others, but those are the four major ones, like respect, kindness, gratitude, and humility. Don't be a dickhead. Because my dad, I remember when I was little, am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
I said dickhead a couple of times. My dad said stuff to me when I must have been about 10. My dad's from the west coast of Tasmania, from Queenstown. Mum is as well, like really small town people, but soul to the earth.
Yeah.
Great people. And they know, all the people they know are great people too from that area. Dad said to me when I must have been 10, he said, doesn't matter where you go in the world, mate, you're always going to find a dickhead. And I'm like, and I was 10,
I remember you telling me this.
And he goes, what? I was like, what? And he goes, doesn't matter where you go, mate, you look around, you'll find a dickhead. And if you can't find a dickhead, the dickhead's probably you.
How good is it?
And then he goes, don't be the dickhead. And I was like, that's, pretty average advice for a 10-year-old. But it's true. I think I've been so lucky to have the mum and dad that I've got who gave me as much as they could, opportunity. Like sent me to a private school. Dad worked every weekend, but was still at my footy matches. So he worked nights to be able to send us to a private school. And mum was always there. Mum was the one that kept the house going.
Yeah.
And me and my brother had every opportunity. And I'm so thankful for that. But they taught me how to be a good person. Like, stuff doesn't matter. Character matters. So you might not always be building your wealth when you go into an opportunity, but you can build character. And so yeah, I'm really lucky that that's an attitude that my parents have instilled in me, and that I choose that attitude every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to choose a good attitude, like particularly when your alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Brutal. But yeah, sorry, that's again.
My alarm
No,
went
I
off
love
at
it.
7 o'clock this morning and I did not have a good attitude.
I'd been at work for 2 hours.
Especially when the weather was so gloomy and it was dark.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Well, it gets hard to get up and go to work when you open the back door of your house to go to your car
Yeah.
and it's dark outside. That's brutal.
Yeah. Look.
And then some days I'll get home from work
And it's
it'll
dark.
be dark.
Yeah.
Like we did some cricket matches this year where I did my breakfast radio show, straight into the Hobart International Tennis emceeing, straight into a Hurricanes Big Bash match that finished 11. So I started at 5, finished at 11, got home, into bed.
And then had to repeat
And
without
then
the
had to
cricket
get up
match.
the next day and do
all that
breakfast
again.
show, into tennis, into pick the kids up from school.
Yeah.
You know.
In that instance, how do you not burn out? What do you put in place to not burn yourself
I've
out?
got a lot of support. Like I don't do this alone. This
Yeah.
isn't just me doing this. This is definitely the support of my partner Erin. Like I can't live this way and work this way without her support. Like she keeps the house going and she also works. So we're juggling this dual household workforce along with 2 kids that need activity because that's what you have to do for your kids to keep them, you know.
Busy.
Well,
And
Keep them off the screen.
I was going to say, entertained is probably
Yeah.
the thing, but also engaged in life because we could sit them in front of, you know, Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. But we try and stop that because our kids, and like going out to a restaurant, no screens. You guys pack some colouring in. Oh, what if they have colouring in there? Then you've got extra colouring in.
Yeah.
You know, we try and keep them busy. So that Erin has been, like, I'm amazed at the mother she is because she just lives for those kids. Like they have everything because of her. But we're a great team. We're a nice reciprocal relationship where she lacks, I pick up, and where I lack, she picks up. So it's a really great relationship. And like I'm just so thankful that she's kept me around, to be honest. Because I could be frustrated. Like, you know, you guys probably see me, like you particularly, Ash, would see me at the cricket and you're like, this guy's wild. I can't be that guy all the time.
No.
And like
It's the Pepsi Max, guys.
It's
It's
the
the Pepsi Max.
Yeah, I joke about how because I don't drink coffee,
Wow.
so I'll only have caffeine where I really need it. So that day where I had breakfast show, tennis, cricket, halfway through the tennis, I said to Ash, I probably need a Pepsi Max. She's like, yeah. So she allowed me.
Otherwise,
to have a Pepsi
it's too hard to control him if he's on.
Max. Yeah.
It's too
But
hard.
like
Start phasing
that's not,
out, yeah.
So like the microphone goes on at 6 a.m.
yeah.
on the Triple M breakfast. I can't be like, hey, it's Triple M breakfast with Kaz and Tubes. I'm just having a
No,
bad
you're making
day.
people's morning.
Like I have to wake
Yeah.
up and I have to be on, and because no one wants to hear that.
No.
So I can't hide in my office. Like, you know, a lot of office jobs you can sort of, I'm having a bad day. I might just sit in my office, shut the door, fill up my calendar with random stuff and just have a bad day.
Have a scroll on TikTok.
Yeah. If I have a bad day at work, I can't between 6 and 9.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really thankful for Kaz as well, and Rhea, my producer, because when I'm having a bad day, I can go in and I can say, hey, I'm having a shit one, you guys. I'm gonna struggle today, so I need some help, and they will help me. And it's the same thing. Like when I get home from a day like I had with that tennis, breakfast, tennis, cricket, home, I get home and Erin goes, "You're going to be knackered tomorrow, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yep, yeah." She goes, "Okay, I'll sort the kids." You know, like just things like that. That's what relationships are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the pendulum in a relationship swings,
Yeah.
no doubt. Some days Erin will have to carry the load and some days I'll have to carry the load. But the thing that we always said is when we had kids, I had a mate, Jacko, who said to me, when you have kids, mate, the only advice I'm going to give you, 2 sets of advice. The first thing is there's 5 things wrong with them. If they're crying, they're wet or dirty, so they've done a wear a poo. They're too hot, they're too cold, or they're hungry. or they're just crying. And if they're just crying, they just need to be left alone. So he gave me that advice, which was awesome. And the other thing he said was, if Erin comes to you and says, I need a break, go, okay, go for it. I've got this.
Yeah.
And the same thing should be for you. If you need a break, you should be able to go to Erin and say, I need a spell. And she goes, go. So we've had that for the 8 years that we've had children. We've had that relationship where we go, just go. But I'm also fully aware that a lot of parents do this stuff solo. And so that's particularly hard, because even though we have our kids 100% of the time, we can manage it and juggle it. If I had Molly and Ray for 50% of the time and Erin had Molly and Ray for 50% of the time, during that 50% of the time, I got no support. Apart from extended family.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking at you, Ash, and I don't know how you juggle that.
I've got no idea. And you do different night, like your shifts are all over the place. I've got no clue how you do it.
But I think the key thing for me is like, none of us achieve anything without support.
No.
And I've emceed the Tasmanian Tourism Awards. I've emceed multiple William Leach medals, big events like the CCF, which is the Construction Federation dinner. I can't remember what it's called, CCF. Civil Construction Federation Awards.
Yeah.
Like, these are big awards with over 1,000 people in the room. Nobody, and the volunteer awards, for instance, I've emceed that. When the people get up and talk about them winning the award, it's not about this is me. Thank you for the support.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone who got behind me. Thank you for getting me across. So I'm fully aware that if I can't do any of the crap that I do without support, and that includes you. Like, I would not have photos of me interviewing Ricky Ponting if it wasn't for you, because I would forget, or I'm so involved, but I know that that'll make Tubes' day.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful for these people around me that help me do these things.
Wait for your birthday, mate. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
My producer, Ria, is just one of the hardest workers in the industry of media. She gets none of the recognition because she's not on the poster. But I know that we can't do what we do without her. And so I'm thankful for her. But I'm most of all, and I'm just thankful for Erin, because our kids are great people because of her influence and my influence. And even though we influence them in different ways, they're going to be okay because of who they have to support them. And that's, I'm the same. Like, I've had the support of my mum. Like, I could ring mum and dad right now and say, hey, I haven't got any money to pay my power bill. They go, oh, like, they're pensioners. And they'd find it, because that's what you do for the people you love. So I'm really thankful to have people who love me in my corner every day. And there's haters. There's haters for sure that don't like me, and that's okay. But just got to push them to the side and remember that you love.
Just like let the happier noise.
We are actually going to do an episode once you go around the hate we get as working parents. And one of the things that I say so often is, I am so glad that I'm a working parent, because that means that my son gets to be with all the people that love him. Because if I wasn't a working parent, he wouldn't have the opportunity to go to all his grandparents. My son's got all his great-grandparents, all the grandparents, all the godmothers, everyone. And even today he's got someone picking him up from daycare because they miss him.
Yeah.
And I could not be the person I am without them.
Yeah.
But also my son wouldn't be the person he is without them either, because they shape him as well, and they're part of my village and part of who grow him to be who he is today. Although he's only 2.5, I know, again, he's going to be a beautiful boy if I can get the tantrums under control. But yeah, I find it's such a privilege as well to be in the position where you can be busy, because it also lets everyone else help you too. And quite often they want to help you.
So my thing there is that those people that give you hate around being a working mother, on the other side of that, you've got all this love.
Yeah, so much love.
That just destroys that hate in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's so many people that love your son enough to want to be around him.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting space.
But we're going to interesting space.
We're going to do a big episode on that.
Unpack that later on. Unpack that later on. All right, Tubesy, I know you on a level of working with you at the cricket, tennis, hockey, wherever else that we've worked together. And I know how much hard work and how much effort you put in to like continue further and build relationships around you in all different areas. What is the big picture that you're going for? Like, what is it that you want to achieve?
Yeah.
And what rooms are you wanting to put yourself in to then take further opportunities?
I think the difficult thing for me is that I'm not anyone. You know?
You are.
Yeah, but I'm not. Like, I'm not a famous athlete, right? So I used to say when I was growing up, after I finished at uni, I did a theatre show called The Uni Review where I met Erin, and Erin said to me, why don't we go and live in America? Like, we'd been together for 12 months. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'd always thought about it. I'd always thought about travelling. I'd just never done it because I was probably a bit scared.
Yeah.
I was working at Rest Point. I was the restaurant manager down at the old Anchor's Bistro. Like, it was, you know, supervising the restaurant down there, and I could have easily still been there because it was an easy job for me. Got to talk to tourists and people coming through the casino. It was just a simple job. It was well paid. There was parking. They fed you, all this stuff. But I was in my uni mindset.
Yeah.
And Erin said, why don't we go and live overseas? And I'm like, cool, let's do it. So we went and lived in Canada. First, we worked at a summer camp with young kids. Like, I think the kids in my bunk were 8 and 9. And it was an eye-opener for Erin and an eye-opener for me because we'd never sort of been together, but like as in lived together. But we were living in this summer camp with like, I think I had 15 kids in my bunk. Erin had 20 girls in her bunk.
Oh my gosh.
And we were, like there was 6 other counsellors, sort of 21 and older. And it was weird. We were there for 7 or 8 weeks and Erin's like, I had no idea that you were going to be such a strict, you know, disciplinarian. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I thought you'd have been the fun dad type with these young kids and you like, I'm watching you like really strict with them. I'm like, yeah, because got to be strict with kids. They don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Like if we give them the rules and they break them, then we got to bring them back. We got to work in these parameters. She's like, I just never knew that about you. I'm like, that's cool. So we travelled around North America for a while. We went to Toronto to live in Canada. So we got a 2-year work visa there. And I was working at a car share company. Erin was working at a cafe and we sort of stayed there for a while. And then we heard about this audition for a Canadian kids television station called YTV. It's called Youth Television. So it's like ABC Kids, but in Canada. So they have like SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly Odd Parents, all of these.
Love Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, there you go. So they made all these shows at this Chorus Entertainment. SpongeBob was Nickelodeon, but they had it on their channel. So it was all just a kids' TV station. So I had this audition for a YTV Wow Tour, it was called. Weird on Wheels. Wow. And Erin and I walked in and we're like, far out, this is going to be intense. Like a group audition. And there was a U-shaped table. And I was sitting here, Erin was over here. They knew that we were partners, and we're living together in Toronto, but we sort of thought to ourselves, we're in this Canadian kids television. We've got this Australian accent. They've all got the Canadian accent. We're never getting this job. So the job was, you drive from Toronto to Vancouver, so right across the North American continent and back in a truck shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants. And you pull up at different cities and you play games with kids, doing crosses back to the studio in Toronto. I was like, I'm never getting this job, but I might as well audition. It's an opportunity, right? And take my attitude. And I was trying to change my attitude from, you're never getting this, to like, you can do it. So we sit down in the audition. They gave us a sheet of paper and they said, here's the key information for our sponsors. So the sponsors were Nerf, Dunkaroos, which is like a...
Yum.
Dunkaroos, the kangaroo bloody
with the
dipping
Nutella.
chocolate.
Oh,
yeah, so
exactly.
good.
Kraft, so
yeah,
Kraft KD crackers things. Super Soaker and Hasbro. So Hasbro make a lot of board games and stuff. And I'm like reading through and it's like, Nerf. These are launchers, not guns, it said in bold. These are darts, not bullets. Right, so I'm like, okay. They're clearly aiming this as launchers and darts. Got it. They said, right, here you go. I want you to get up here in front of these whole people, so all the people in the audition, and tell us about this. And it was this Nerf CX9 launcher. And I said, and it had a little magazine of darts in. So a couple of Canadians go, hey guys, this is a new gun. That's the CX6, and bang, bang, bang. Like, these bullets can shoot, 30 meters. I'm like, said not guns, not darts, not bullets. And they were all saying. So I got up there and I said, hey guys, this is the CX6, a CS6 launcher from Nerf. It's brand new. You can break it apart. It's got the scopes on top, and inside of this magazine, you've got 6 darts. And then the darts can shoot up to 30 meters. And I sat down. Erin did the same thing. She must have, and we didn't talk. She picked up on the key information.
Yeah.
And we did a few different things, and we got up and we caught the tram back to our thing. And on the tram ride, I said, how do you reckon that went? And she said, yeah, I thought we did all right. I said, did you see that all of them called it a gun? She's like, yeah, I know. And it said on the thing. They didn't read the information.
Yeah.
They didn't absorb it.
So you got it.
Erin got a phone call, and they offered her to be the West Tour leader.
Yeah.
And she said, who's on my team? And they said, we can't tell you. I'm like, okay. She's like, I got the job going out west. Like, we wanted to go out to Vancouver and experience that drive across the whole continent. And then my phone rang and I went, and I got the job as well. And I could not believe that they gave this job to 2 Australians driving out to Vancouver. So we did that for 3 years. And that whole experience was just amazing, because North Americans are strange in that they have this confidence that might, when they're outside of the country or the continent, they seem cocky and arrogant. But when they're in it, it's like a confidence. It's not cocky. So I used to say, so getting back to your question about what my end goal is, when I was over there in America, I used to say, oh, I don't know what my role is. But then they started to get this confidence about, you can do anything. And so my dream job when I was younger growing up was to be the host of The Price is Right, because I love Larry Emder. Like, love him. He's just amazing because he's a nice, well, I don't know if he is, but I'm assuming he's a really lovely guy.
Yeah.
And he just was so talented and just so genuine and authentic. And I loved him. So I wanted to be the host of The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Now, if I said that to one of my mates when I was growing up, I want to be the host of The Price is Right, they'd go, oh, you dickhead. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Whereas over there, I said that to a bloke. I said I wanted to be the host of The Price is Right. His name's Martin Braunschweig. And he goes, you can do it, Tubes. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, man, why can't you? And like genuine. It's like, as if you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And so I got this confidence of like knowing that I could do it. Now, getting back to your question, what's my goal? I know that I'm no one, right? I know that I'm not a former athlete. I'm not a reality TV show star.
Yeah.
I've only just got into I'm into my 5th year, just started my 5th year of radio. But I know that I'm no one. I'm just background noise in someone's ears sometimes. Sometimes I might cut through to people when they listen. But my dream is to one day commentate an AFL game. Ball by ball commentary, call the AFL game. Now, 4 years ago when I started radio, I was like, oh, there might be some opportunity here because maybe Triple M will let me boundary ride some of the games. So I now boundary ride for Triple M on a national broadcast, which is just an amazing opportunity because I know I'm no one. I'm not a former AFL player, which is just great. I won an award a couple of years ago as Best Newcomer, the ACRA, which is the Australian Commercial Radio Awards, and I was like shocked. But it was because I got some notoriety through Brian Taylor and James Brayshaw ripping me to pieces and me going back at them saying, oh, well, I'm just trying to earn some cash and all this stuff,
Yeah.
And it was fun. Like, it was really fun. And then, 3 years ago, the Tasmanian Devils gets announced. And then I'm all of a sudden
That's been
like...
3 years already.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went to the West Coast, which was really special for me to go and announce that the team, that was 2 years ago, that our colours and team name and mascot were all announced.
That was at Queenstown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, that was pretty much to the day. That was when we were announced. But the team got announced in May of 2023. And I don't know, like now I can almost see the part. I'm not expecting it, but I'm hoping for it.
I'm kind of expecting it for you.
Yeah, maybe. But like there are so many people that want that as well.
Yeah.
And that deserve it too. So my goal and aim is to one day commentate an AFL game and then hopefully get more and more as that goes along and build a profile there and get to commentate local AFL games.
That's great.
I mean, I get to do Aussie rules games now, and I've done, last year was my 10th Southern Footy League Grand Final, and I'm really proud of the work that I've done there. But, you know, I don't know what happens next. I just want to make sure my end goal, if I'm talking about end game, is to get my kids the education that they need to succeed in their future.
Yeah.
Because I was given these opportunities through the sacrifice of my parents. So I will sacrifice things for my children so that they can have every opportunity that I had and more, hopefully.
That's great.
That's so lovely that you, like, that's your goal, like, is to give your kids what you had. That is just so special.
And I don't know, like when we had Molin Ray, I know my life changed. It was like my focus went from being about what Erin and I could have to just making sure they had every opportunity. Yeah. Because, you know, their happiness means more to me than my own.
All right. So given everything that you've accomplished with radio, sports, MC, commentating.
Yeah, but it's not that much.
It is for Tassie though. And I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit.
I agree.
I think you need to give yourself... Mate, I've put a freaking photo of you on my son's bloody school book because he fucking froths you. Like...
That's so good.
It's so frustrating. I was like, why tubes? And he's just like, because he's going to commentate my name one day.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like, that genuinely makes me so happy because I get a lot of joy. Like that, and that job that I talked about when we drove across Canada, we met so many kids where they thought we were someone and we were just glorified carnies, essentially. It was a really cool job. And I had some experiences over there that were just unbelievable. But these kids, like the smile on a kid's face and the joy that you can bring by just pulling out we had these little Nerf balls, like soft squeezy balls that we could. Yeah. And like, I go, hey, do you want this? And the joy on their face. Yeah. I'm like, well, you can't have it. I go, oh, I'm only kidding, mate. There you go. You'd give it to them. And it was just like, it just makes you so happy. Yeah. You know, and I think so that makes me happy that I'm on.
I also think too, like you're saying that you're no one, but also you've not just come from Tassie, you come from the northwest coast that don't get that many opportunities. No. So for you to even be as far as you are, there aren't that many jobs in Tasmania for radio. There's not that many and let's positions be honest, at all. There's there's not that many opportunities, but you've also helped create these opportunities as well.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I just
humble.
No, I don't know. Like I'm really proud of where I'm at right now. And it's come through a lot of hard work. Yeah. Like, and my boss, Phil, my content director, says to me, you know, well, I said, why did you pick me? Like, you've plucked me out of obscurity. He goes, you've been broadcasting for 20 years, Tubes. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, you used to do it Rest Point. You're on the microphone talking to people playing the pokies, talking about the stuff that's going on, you know, promotions. I'm like, okay. And then all that stuff you did in Canada, it was broadcasting. So that was 2007, 8, 9 and 10. We did 3 trips across Canada, which is amazing. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But, like, so, yeah, for 15 years I've been on the microphone. Yeah. So he said, it should come as no surprise that we picked you. Like, oh, okay, I suppose. So, I don't know, humility can probably be a bad thing. So, yeah, I'm proud of what I've achieved, but it's come through a lot of hard work. It's not just like, here we go, this guy do. Yeah. You know, sorry, I cut your question.
Not at all, but like, okay, so you worked extremely hard on the radio with sports pres, with emceeing, very big on community and bringing the community aspect to your breakfast show host. What would Little Tubes be screaming at you right now if he could see who you are as a person now? And what advice would you give Little Tubes that our listeners could take away?
Yeah, I got invited back to Marist College on the northwest coast where I went to school. Yeah. It was really funny how it came about. So my brother Dan, who you know, I'm not sure whether you know him.
Dan from the other?
Yeah.
you brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Timu Taylor, they call him.
Timu Tubes.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah. Dan's a great guy.
He
Dan's
is.
such a
incredible.
great
Yeah.
guy.
Dan's amazing. And
He's
I
we're,
funny
as.
we're similar, but we're different.
Yeah.
Dan's been in breakfast radio for 22 or 23 years,
A long
something
time.
like that.
Yeah.
And when he was in radio, I had no desire. That was Dan's thing. And I got an email from the school saying, hey, Tubes, it was from the careers advisor, would you like to come back and talk to the grade 9s? I think you could give them some real great and tangible advice as to, where to take their careers or advice for a grade 9. I'm like, oh, I'd love to. Thinking he was talking about my community sport commentary that I did for a number of years, maybe being a small business owner. This was when I was a small business owner at Jono's Homemade for a while. Thinking, and so I wrote back and said, what aspect do you want? And he wrote back and said, oh, maybe you can talk about your radio stuff. And I wasn't working in radio at the time. I'm like, I got the wrong Taylor. And I said, I think you got the wrong Taylor. Here's Dan's email address. And he's like, oh, no, I meant both of you. So we both went back to grade 9.
Oh, that's for sure.
And it's funny you ask about the advice that I'd give a younger me, because I was relatively confident to do stuff on stage, but I was a bit insecure
Yeah.
about who I was. And it wasn't until, because I was always a bigger guy, like carrying a bit of extra weight, and I didn't care, but I used to cop shit about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, living at Jane Franklin Hall when I moved down here to go to uni.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, because we had shared bathrooms up there, so I'd wrap myself up in my dressing gown and run back to my room and get dressed with a curtain shut. But on the back of the door, so you shut your door, and on the back of your door was a big, long-length mirror. And I had my dressing gown over my shoulders and was putting on my shorts or something like that. And as I turned around, my dressing gown fell off, and I was standing there, and I didn't quite have, my undies were still around my knees or something. I turned around, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was nude. And I'm like, and I just took a bit of time to look at myself, and I was like, and I actually verbalized it. I said, you're okay, Tubes. I looked in the mirror and I went, you're okay, Tubes. I put my clothes on, and from that moment, I had this confidence in my body, in my character, all of that stuff. And I wasn't afraid of who I was. And it was like, I'd probably spent a bit of time in my younger years trying to emulate people who I admired rather than just being who I am. And it was, that moment looking at myself in the mirror where I realised that I was all right, like I was a good person. And I took confidence away from knowing that I was a good person. So my advice to little Tubes is don't try and be someone else. Don't try and be like someone else. Be who you are. Be passionate about the things that you're passionate about. Be okay with who you are and how you look. Because as soon as you find that, you can figure out your passions, and then you can really focus your energy.
Yeah.
Because focus is important. Like having energy is one thing, but focus is critical. So, I would say embrace who you are and be proud of who you are. Be thankful for who you are. Like show that gratitude, and then you can focus your energy on the things that you love.
Yeah. That's so
Beautiful.
great.
Did I answer that question?
Absolutely perfect.
You nailed
Such an
it.
easy interview to do. Thank you so much for joining us.
Just sprayed it all out.
I know.
This is better than therapy.
It's perfect.
You're welcome.
The last interview we did, Ash gave this whole epiphany to the guests, and it was like this whole mind thing, wasn't it? It was like,
Yeah.
it's
He's
like-
sitting there and he's just like, well, fuck. He's like, shit, Ash, where'd you pull that from? And I was just like, I don't know.
And then he's messaging me back. He's like, I'm going to speak to my psychologist about that. It's okay.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you for that.
Thanks heaps, you guys.
Thanks so much for having, no, not having us. Thank you so
Being.
much for coming in and interviewing with your busy schedule.
Thanks heaps.